Welcome back to Movie Rewind. Today I will tell you about a crime, mystery, thriller movie from 2008 titled Untraceable. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. Jennifer is a widowed single mother who lives in the Portland suburbs with her daughter, Annie. She is a special agent for the FBI's cybercrime division, where she works nights with her colleague, Griffin. They spend the majority of their time investigating identity theft and related crimes, while Griffin recounts the highlights of his latest online dating encounter. Late one evening, an anonymous tip is received about a new website, published on the domain name, killwithme.com. The website contains a single video, depicting a kitten being subjected to acts of cruelty. Upon investigation, Jennifer and Griffin find that the site is constantly changing IP addresses. Each new IP address is an exploited server, which then runs a mirror of the host site. Whoever is behind it is running their own botnet, which makes it impossible to take down the site permanently. Herbert Miller receives an email from a mutual friend, offering center ice tickets to a local hockey game. He meets the seller to purchase the tickets, however, he is knocked unconscious with a handheld taser. Killwithme.com then goes online with a live broadcast. Herbert is in front of a camera, shirtless, with his wrists secured at his sides. The website's domain name is carved into his chest, and a message scrolls along the bottom border. The more viewers the broadcast gets, the faster the victim reaches his death. The site displays two related figures: the number of concurrent viewers, which is at 1.4 million and climbing, and a dosage monitor, which corresponds to the intravenous drug Herbert is receiving. Griffin says that it's most likely an anticoagulant, or blood thinner. As the drug is increased, so will Herbert's rate of blood loss. Detective Eric Box, Portland Police Department, arrives at the FBI office. Eric is heading the local law enforcement investigation. Now over 4 million viewers, they are still unable to locate the source of the broadcast. Griffin says it's too bad Herbert wasn't a Boy Scout, he would be able to blink Morse code to communicate his location. As the numbers continue to rise, the blood loss becomes too much, and Herbert succumbs to his wounds. The banner then says, "More to come," as it tops out over 6 million watchers. Following the police press conference, Eric receives a tip regarding an Arthur Elmer. Arthur was an engineer for a company called Chadwick Technologies, until 6 months ago when he was fired for installing a camera in the men's restroom, and he has been posting online about killwithme.com. Eric visits Arthur's house, finding a collage of men's photos and a tech setup in his basement, but nothing that directly ties him to the website, or Herbert. David Williams, a former newscaster for Channel 12, now retired, is working on his collection of antique trains. He goes to look at two particularly rare models, hoping to add them to his collection. As the seller takes him to the basement where the trains are displayed, David is also knocked out with the taser. Jennifer and Griffin are at Annie's birthday party when they're notified the website is broadcasting again. David's hands and legs are anchored in concrete, and his mouth gagged, with dozens of heat lamps aimed at him. As the viewer count grows, the number of heat lamps increases accordingly. Against Jennifer's recommendation, FBI Regional Director Brooks holds a press conference, urging people not to log onto the site. But the announcement has the opposite effect. The site is flooded with hits, and the number of heat lamps continues to grow. Watching from the FBI office, one of the agents sees David mouthing words to the camera. Eric is able to make out an address, however, the house is empty. A laptop is found in the living room, tuned into the Kill With Me website. The FBI profiler then briefs the team on what they know thus far. The suspect is organized, and described as highly capable, given that he's already subdued and transported 2 adult males. He is extremely knowledgeable about computers and in particular, the internet. And his actions suggest that he is very motivated, although they are still uncertain as to exactly what that motive is. The following morning, Annie turns on the television, and sees a broadcast of her own house. She looks out the window and sees a black car that she doesn't recognize, but it appears to be empty. Jennifer finishes in the shower and receives a call from Griffin. Unable to immediately find Annie, she grabs her firearm and runs out the front door. But Annie is unharmed, playing in the driveway. She tells her mother that she just wanted to ride her bike for the camera. Jennifer rushes her back inside the house, and the host types a message saying, "Did you really think I would let you people hurt that little girl?" Eric arrives with the local PD to investigate the vehicle. David's burnt body is found in the trunk, and Jennifer says that Annie had downloaded a game onto their computer, thinking it was sent from a friend. The file contained malware, giving the suspect access to her home network. Griffin calls Jennifer to check on her, and notes that he is making headway on the case. Jennifer says that she'll still be in the office that evening, so Griffin says he'll fill her in when they see each other. Jennifer arrives at the office for a meeting with director Brooks. The conversation is cut short when a new broadcast goes live on the website. They rush to the conference room where it's revealed that Griffin was the person abducted. Using a voice-changing software, the suspect called Griffin, posing as one of his recent dates. Griffin is displayed bound to a chair in a tank of water, with his mouth duct-taped, and his badge affixed to his chest. The mechanism of choice is a sulfuric acid drip, and Griffin's status as an FBI agent only adds to the intrigue. As the concentration increases, the suspect is forced to cover his nose and eventually leave the basement. Remembering Griffin's comment about using his blinks to communicate via Morse code, Jennifer rushes to find someone who can decode his message. He gets as much as he can, but the viewer count rises over 24 million, before the broadcast is ended. The following morning, aided by the partial message received from Griffin, Jennifer finds the missing link. 16 months ago, depressed over the recent death of his wife, chemistry professor James Riley committed the unthinkable, in the middle of the Broadway Bridge. Channel 12 News was the only news outlet who caught the incident in its entirety. Their regular helicopter pilot was sick that day, so they had someone fill in. That person was Herbert Miller. Riley's eyeglasses were retrieved by someone underneath the bridge, who proceeded to sell them online, Scotty Hillman, the owner of the stolen kitten. The lead reporter for the Channel 12 story was David Williams. The original video went viral, causing Riley's son to be hospitalized. That was until 6 months ago, when his son Owen was released. Identity now revealed, a warrant is served on Owen's house. The basement, which acted as the backdrop for all the murders, still has remnants of each victim. They then find Griffin, still submerged from the neck down in acid, but no Owen. That night, Jennifer is driving home when her vehicle's mechanical system abruptly dies. With no power or lights, she barely makes it off the road safely. Her cell phone also disabled, Jennifer runs to a nearby call box and gets a hold of Eric. After seeing the lights come back on, she gets back into her vehicle, but Owen is in the back seat, unable to be seen from outside. Jennifer is dragged into the basement, where she wakes up, bound and gagged. She is suspended upside down, by the ankles, and the broadcast is turned on. Owen places a garden tiller directly beneath her, and starts the gas-powered blade. Jennifer's feet are being held by a steel cable winch, and as the viewership rises, she will be lowered into the rotating blade. The site goes live, and the viewership skyrockets, as Jennifer's colleagues watch in horror. As the number surpasses 17 million, Jennifer begins swaying back and forth, and grabs hold of a nearby pipe. Owen puts the camera down to stop her, but as he approaches, Jennifer releases a steam valve into his face. She then lowers the winch and kicks the blade away, before elbowing Owen in the back as he tries to pick up his gun. Jennifer grabs the gun away and Owen knocks her backwards. He then grabs the nearby tiller and pushes it towards her. However, Jennifer sits up and fires multiple rounds into his chest, all still live on the broadcast. As she crawls towards the fallen camera, displaying her badge, a message is posted asking how the video can be downloaded. Okay guys, thank you for watching. Please leave a like on the video, and subscribe to see more.